Hi guys, Frugal Moogle here with a new video regarding cashback websites. So today's video is going to primarily focus on the website called Top Cashback, as you can see on screen. It's a site I've used now for probably the last 12 months, on and off. Recently bought a property, so things like gas, electricity, furnishing the property, things like that. Quite expensive things to do, but when you look at cashback websites, you can generally find that if you want to buy them from a retailer that's on there, and you're going to buy them anyway, it makes a lot of sense to use cashback websites because you're going to get some money. 9 times out of 10 you're going to get paid by the retailer. Some of them are a little bit slow at paying, and some of them are a little bit quicker than others. British Gas took about 2 months to pay out, and that was for £50 recently for switching utilities. It was something I was looking to do. Moved into the property, was using Eon, not the cheapest, but it was just the most convenient to stick with them for the time being. Decided to look around, use a website called Uswitch. Uswitch shops around, you pop in some usage details, what you're using roughly on a monthly basis for gas, for electricity. It has a shop around for you, and in 9 times out of 10 if you swap to dual fuel, so if you use the same company for both gas and electricity, you do get a bit of a discount. It turns out British Gas in the area were actually the cheapest right now, so had a look on the Top Cashback website. I found out they had a promotion to switch to a particular deal which I was already looking at, and if you did this you'd receive a £50 incentive. So signed up in February and then finally got paid out about 2 weeks ago. So it did take them nearly, I think around 2 months to pay out, which is a little bit slower than what I've seen with most other retailers, but got there in the end, got paid £50 a few days ago, put the request through Top Cashback to put it into a bank account, and then that hit my bank account on Friday. So, really quick turnaround. So Top Cashback, it's a site that's been around for quite some time. It's changed over the years. Cashback websites used to be quite uncommon. People didn't really trust them, didn't really use them very much, and so a lot of those sites used to actually be free to use, but the percentages were, okay, nothing fantastic, but again, if you're going to use the site anyway, why not get cashback? They're quite common now, and I think that's the reason why a lot of the sites have gone towards kind of a paid model. Normally what they do is they'll put benefits behind the paywall, and you'll pay a fee for the year. So I think Top Cashback at the moment, the fee is around £7 a year. So when you earn your first bit of cashback, you actually can't cash out the whole amount because they'll make sure you pay the annual fee. It's not something that's a big issue. If you can use cashback websites on a fairly regular basis, then normally you're going to earn the amount that you've got to pay back fairly quickly. Once it's out of the way, anything else you earn in the future is going to be yours in its entirety. So just going to have a quick look around the website. First of all, I'm just going to quickly go to my account. So as you can see, this year so far, I've earned £77.66, which have all been paid out. I'm just going to navigate the site for you now. So as you can see, you recently got paid out £50 by British Gas. Again, that was transferred into my bank account, almost straight away. By back transfer, it takes a couple of days. Really easy to do. They offer you other options for cash out as well. It doesn't have to be cash, it can be things like vouchers. And you generally find if you are going to get vouchers, depending on the vouchers, you will get some extra money. So you may actually get more than what's been agreed because it's not a cash transaction. And what Top Cashback can do is actually buy vouchers at a cheaper rate. So they're able to offer you maybe an extra £10-15 worth of vouchers. So if you are looking to save some money for a particular purchase from a retailer, let's just say Argos, for example, you might get an extra £10-15 in vouchers rather than taking it by cash. But if you want the money and you drive out the cash in your bank account to spend on whatever you want to do, then that's okay as well. So how cashback websites work is that you're going to look to buy something on there from a retailer, and the retailers have deals with Top Cashback, and it may be that you get a set percentage of a purchase. It may say, Argos, buy furniture, receive 5%. Some of the retailers will have an amount in pounds instead. So British Gas, the deal was get a fixed rate until I think it was July 2017. By signing up for that, you'll get £50 guaranteed, as long as it's a dual fuel allowance. And as I said before, with most energy suppliers nowadays, by doing dual fuel, you'll also receive a discount from the energy supplier themselves as well, because it means that you're going to get one bill normally, and they're monitoring both accounts at once rather than just doing electricity and just doing gas. So let's have a quick look around the website. So I'm looking at the moment for some home and travel insurance. I'm going to be travelling abroad in the next couple of months. So you'd go on here, you'd find some travel insurance, you'd look at the ones, and you can change this by the popularity. And generally find the ones that are more popular is either because the payouts are good or because the retailers pay out fairly quickly. And you can change it by the highest amount in pounds. So as you can see at the moment, admiral payout up to £68.25. just need to be really careful to read the T's and C's, because the ones that pay out quite a lot of money, generally speaking, will have quite strict T's and C's, and if you don't meet them, you won't get the money. Not a big loss at the end of the day if you're not banking on the money, because like I say, if you're going to get insurance anywhere and you need the insurance, the cashback really to me is a bonus. But you'll just be really careful. You'll come across some of the insurance companies that are really strict and stingy, but then you'll find others that are a lot more flexible in terms of what you got to do. I can also change it by percentage as well, and that's just because some of them will pay out a percentage of the premiums. This one's showing that you can receive, for example, on this holiday one here, up to 31.5% of the actual, cost of the insurance. Now, holiday insurance is generally speaking fairly cheap anyway, so 31.5% actually might be quite a small amount of money. So again, just make sure that when you do click on these ones here, that you are reading the terms and conditions. Now, you might be thinking, well, hang on a minute, if I get it through a cashback website, surely what the retailer is going to do is going to charge me money to recoup the cost of what they're going to pay the cashback website to give to you as a consumer. Now, this is something I was quite sceptical about initially when I first started using cashback websites. So I used to get a quote from the website directly and then through the cashback website and double check things, and I've never actually seen any difference. The fees are the same, so you're going to go through the link. So if you click to get a quote here at the moment, what's going to happen is it's going to take you to the website, and there'll be a referral in the URL which tells you you've come from Top Cashback to the actual insurance company, so they can track that you're getting this through the Top Cashback website to give them the money. But I've looked at this on a few different occasions now if I go into the website directly, and I can see no difference at all in the cost of the insurance. So just because you're using Top Cashback websites, you aren't going to get stiffed and have to pay the difference. I've not seen this in any examples of the ones I've used so far. And again, because I'm buying something anywhere, it makes sense to use the cashback website, because if I do, I'm potentially missing out on money. So like I say, it's a really good site. It's very easy to use. One of the cool things as well is they have actually got a browser widget which you can use. So when you go to a particular website, say Argos or Amazon, places like that, if it knows you can get a cashback from using the website, it will alert you to the fact that you can do that, in case you go buy something and then forget and go back then, so you can actually earn some money. There's some really big retailers that use cashback websites. So for example, Asda's on there. Now, the one thing you will find with Asda though is rarely will it be on things that you're going to buy there on a regular basis. So it's probably not going to be groceries. So for example, here's one here which is £60 plus for new customers only, and you're going to receive £12.60. But like I say, when you actually read the T's and C's, it's for things like potentially things they want to sell because they've got either a big stock of those things because they've overbought them, end of line things like that. So it isn't always going to be on essentials that you want to buy. So please, before clicking the link to the website, just double check, does this cover all items in Asda? Is it only specific items? It might be electronics only, it may be like clothes only, things like that. So it's just really important that you read the T's and C's before clicking the link to the cashback site referral link, just to ensure that when you buy the things you are going to get a nasty surprise and receive no cashback. So once you've actually put your order through, Top Cashback, what they'll do is they'll start to actually track your referral money. So if you go into your account, what would happen normally is, I'm just going to go to my dashboard. Let's have a look. Earnings section. You'll see once it tracks the name of the retailer, and it'll say pending with an amount, and that just tells us that Top Cashback are waiting for the retailer to confirm you've made the transaction that you say you've done. Once this happens, it will then go to confirmed. This is where the retailer confirmed the transaction, but they've not paid the money out yet. Now this varies from product to product, because with some products they may need to wait for a cooling off period to finish. So for example, if you're switching utilities, you can't switch and just get paid out straight away, because they want to make sure first of all that you've met credit, you've had the installation of the product, so for example the gas meters or the energy supply, and then you've paid a month's bill, which is why British Gas took a couple months to go through. Whereas if you buy something say from a shop, they're probably going to want to wait for first of all for you to pay for the item and then for the item to be delivered. And again, there's probably a cooling off period, because with most items in the UK, when you buy from a shop online, there is a cooling off period again to ensure that you don't return the item, because what the retailers don't want to do is pay you out money through cashback if you then return the item and return the money from the cashback, because I imagine that for them would be quite time consuming to have to then claw back the money. So like I said, it's just been really vigilant when you read the T's and C's. Most sites, most retailers as well, generally have a rating of some sort which tells you how quickly they pay out. So if we go for example to BT and look at the cashback, So here's £136.50, and again, a lot of the higher ones, generally speaking, are for new customers, and it explains what you need to do to get it. So you've got to get a package which includes unlimited broadband offers, and it's also got to include calls as well. Now, when you click on the link to get cashback, that's going to redirect you to the BT website. I'm just going to go back to the actual Top Cashback website here if I can, and normally what will happen is it'll let you know somewhere on the website, you know, how quick they're paying money, and it also gives you a bit more information down here as well about, you know, certain things you need to look out for. So here it says that, you know, 99.67% of trackings have done, you know, this particular company verify, which shows they've got, you know, quite a high amount of money. Oh, there we go. So what it says here is that normally they track you've actually bought something from BT within less than an hour. However, payment speed varies, and it can take as long as 7 weeks and 6 days. And again, things like this, especially like, you know, packages for telephones and internet connections and utilities, there always are cooling off periods because of the regulations they're under. You're going to find the quicker cashbacks are things that you buy immediately. So if you buy something, for example, like insurance, like travel insurance, things like that, because you pay for the transaction almost immediately, and once you've got it, the cooling off periods are quite quick, like it can be like 7 days, I believe. You're just generally going to find that they're going to pay out a little bit quicker. And again, if you're buying goods offline from, like, say, House of Fraser or Asda, you know, normally once you bought an item, they've got a returns policy, and with some items, yeah, it can be 28 days, but a lot of the online shops nowadays, you know, pay out quite quickly, because nowadays you just generally find the people don't return things very often. It's become one of those things where nowadays, people, you know, when people buy things that are quite cheap, because they're so cheap, they actually don't return things because it's more hassle to return it than it is just to keep it and to have made a loss. So as you can see from the website, you know, it does cover a number of topics from electronics all the way through to travel, utilities, telecoms. So it's one of those things that you can use for almost everyday items, along with your big purchases and even things like holidays. Just be careful though, and don't get too wrapped up in using cashback websites, because sometimes what you can find is that you can get it much cheaper somewhere else, and although you are going to get cashback, if you look at the difference between paying for it through a cashback website to where you can get it with no cashback, it doesn't always make sense, because you've got two risks. First of all, is the cashback going to cover the difference in cost? And if the cashback's going to cover the difference in cost, are you actually going to get the money, you know, the money guaranteed? Because there aren't any guarantees. What companies can do is they can either, you know, not pay you at all. And looking at this so far, the procedure in place where you've kind of got to go through to argue to get the money back is very, very time consuming and quite complex from what I've seen. So it's one of those things where if you aren't going to get paid and you've not made a saving, have you then got time to argue and provide evidence you actually did what's required of you? And if you do all that, are you going to get paid out? So it's just being mindful that I wouldn't ever really recommend using this if it's something that, you know, you aren't going to save money by getting it from a retailer purely for cashback reasons. But if you are going to get it at a decent price and you're going to get cashback on top of that, then I would go for it. If you find that the prices vary and there's a very, very little variance in price, but the cashback seems to outweigh the pros are receiving it somewhere else, and that's something to bear in mind. But I guess the biggest thing I'd bear in mind is also the retailer. I won't be using retailers for cashback purposes if you don't trust them. You know, if the retailers you've not heard of, then have a look online first of all, educate yourself, look at reviews for customer service in terms of, you know, like, were they good for returning items that I didn't want, you know, was delivery good, you know, things like that. And another thing is, who do they use for deliver? You know, you don't want companies ideally using people like Yodel. So there are lots of things to factor in before kind of making purchases wherever possible. And I'd kind of like put cashback as probably one of like the lower priorities. First of all, make sure you're using a website or a company that's trusted, good delivery service, good customer feedback, and can I have cashback as a last item on that list. And if, like I say, if you then get it, you're happy with the item and you get your cashback, and that's great. If you don't get your cashback, you know, bear it in mind for next time. Maybe look around and try use somebody else. But again, try not to let cashback kind of cloud judgment on buying things. A company may offer, you know, fantastic cashback to you as a customer, have lots of hoops to jump through. You get it, you're fantastic. You wait for your cashback, and then for whatever reason, they say you didn't meet one of their criteria and they don't pay you out. And if it's a service, for example, in this instance, like BT, you know, broadband and calls, you're probably going to be tied then into a contract of about 12 months. So it's not like you can just cancel it and swap around. So I'd make sure that you kind of like balance between all the factors that you find important when buying items, and probably put cashback somewhere down the bottom. Don't go somewhere just because they offer you the highest cashback. Shop around and make sure these services or items meet your needs first of all, and then weigh up the pros and cons of cashback and decide what the best thing is to do. So that's all for this video, guys. I hope I've made that clear. I'd have a play around with the website, like I say, look at the website and make sure before signing up you're happy to use it. I've had no issues so far. I will put a referral link down in the description of the video. Feel free to use it if you want. All that will happen is if you guys get cashback, I'll get a bit of money. If you then sign up, send that link on to your friend for your cashback referral link. You'll get some money when they buy things, and take it like that. It's one of those things where if we all use it and kind of share our referral codes, we all get a bit of extra cash in our pocket. We save some money, and then hopefully in the long run, whenever you buy things, you make a little bit of money as well. So as always, guys, stay frugal, and I'll speak to you in the next video. Thank you.